Hello, COA podcast listeners. I'm Abby Sainage.
And I'm Michaela Delapierre.
And welcome to episode 2 of season 2 of Windward News. This podcast is brought to you by listeners like you. Thank you.
We do this for you. All we do, we sit in our chairs in this tiny little room, working our butts off so we can fill your ears with this beautiful, beautiful thing we call Windward News.
Thank you. Today is Monday, January 18th, 2016.
You better believe it. It's not 2015, guys. Remember to write that down. Our lovely local environmental justice group, Earth in Brackets, meets on Wednesday at 7 p.m. in the Elliott Study Space. They do some really wonderful things, guys. I know you hear about them. You know who they are. Go check them out. Go see all the wonderful people and things that they got to say.
Check them out.
Yo, 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 check them out.
No, if you've never been to Earth in Brackets meeting, you definitely should go to at least one and continue on going.
You've been to one?
I have been to one. I've been to multiple. I haven't this year, though.
Are you in Earth in Brackets?
I used to be involved with them, but it's, I tend to get involved in so many things and priorities.
Are you a quitter? Are you a quitter, Abby?
I'm not a quitter, never a quitter.
You sound like a quitter. We're going to take a quick pause, go out in the parking lot, fight it out. We'll be right back, everybody.
On Wednesday, the 20th, Board of Trustees will be having their winter meeting. Most of their sessions are open to the community, and it is from 8:30 to 5 p.m.
I mean, one of the amazing things that I think we really got to take advantage of is at COA is how much sway that the students can have in terms of, you know, the fact that we can even go to the Board of Trustees meeting is pretty rad, and I think we got to take advantage of that.
Yeah, guys, most colleges are not as lenient about students being involved in much of the school's business. So definitely take this opportunity to be involved with the school's decisions and such, and advocate your thoughts and your opinions about the way things should be at COA. It's needed.
Yeah, or just like do whatever the heck you want. That's also cool.
That too. If you want to just, I don't know, go and walk out and play in the snow, that's cool too.
When I came to Maine, it might be a little dorky to me, but I 100% fell in love with contra dance, and I'm so very excited to be able to do that in a room full of bucks, you know, at the Jessup Memorial Library this Saturday, 7:30. I'm gonna get my contra dance on, and I hope to see you there.
Goes to Paul Revere, guys. They have a concert at the Criterion at this Saturday. The doors open at 8 p.m. Great news, students get in for $9, but if you want to be cool and get an orchestra seat, that's $12, or balcony for $16.
I actually have never listened to them, but I assume that they're going to be pretty rockin'.
Well, see, my first year they came here, they played right in Gates, and they were fantastic, so I highly recommend you go see them. And now, episode 2 of Free Range Nonsense.
All right, we've only got 3 days left until this wilderness project is over and 2 hours until sundown. Cecilia, how's waterproofing going?
Great! I found some pine tree bark and branches, and I've been covering the shelter with it.
Good. Roger, have you set traps and found something to use as weapons?
Yes, I have, and found how you say weapons.
Beautiful. Hunter, is the perimeter all clear? I'll take that as a yes. Leo, how are you doing on food? What are you doing?
I found a beetle. When I lick this one, it makes my tongue tingly. I think that means he's special.
Okay, moving on then. Rye, how's the woodpile? Rye? Ryan, where are you? Rye!
For those of you who might still be wondering what is happening here, allow me to recap the last 2 days. Upon the departure of the professor, the class of 12 students, give or take one student who wandered off and might have been eaten by a bear or something, began to discuss survival strategies. Whereas some believed that the best option was to shelter and feed themselves by using the land and animals around them, others firmly believed that the killing or harming of life or land for any reason was morally and ethically wrong. And so the class split up into 2 groups, according to what their beliefs are, or according to where their friends decided to go. The Live Off the Land group, led by Wash, journeyed to the west side of the hill to build shelter from trees and hunt, while the Live With the Land group, led by the collective community, traveled to the east side of the mountain, looking for natural shelters and edible plants native to the area. As for the location of the missing student Ryan, at the current moment, He is looking for dry wood and has accidentally wandered just a bit too far into enemy territory.
Ah, there's a good piece. All right, that's probably enough wood. I should get back to camp now. Oh, where am I? Damn it, I'm lost again. Wash is so gonna make fun of me for this. What was that? Oh god, it's a bear! A bear's gonna jump out of the bushes and maul me! I gotta hide!
I would prefer that you didn't.
Please don't eat me! Wait, you're not a bear?
How can you rule out me being a bear? Does my energy not reflect that of a hunter? I've always thought of myself as a predatory animal, like a bear.
I'm sorry, what?
Now, you seem more like a bird of some sort. Maybe a crow.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Wait, you're Alex, right? You're the crazy spiritual person that was arguing with Wash a couple of days ago.
A couple of days ago,
What do you mean you won't hunt? Do you have something against survival?
I won't have anything to do with your barbaric killing frenzies you call hunting, and I won't eat anything that you have to murder to eat.
Oh, God, don't tell me you're a vegetarian.
No, I'm a vegan!
Sweet Mary and Joseph, that's almost as bad as you can get.
I believe that animals have the right to their lives, just like Mother Nature intended.
Jesus Christ, don't tell me you're into one of those hocus-pocus ancient hippie religions.
No, but I am a member of PETA.
Roger,
Yes?
get me a gun.
back to the present.
That idiot actually shot me.
Yeah, I really didn't see that one coming. Speaking of Wash, I should probably be getting back to camp before
Rye, where are you? Rye!
that happens.
Rye bread! Come out from wherever you are! Rye bread! Wash, I don't understand why we're looking for a loaf of bread.
For the last time, Leo, Rye is the name of a person. Not bread, a person. Got it?
So Rye is a name
Yes.
of a person
Yes!
made of bread.
Ah! Just shout whatever you want.
Oh, okay. In that case, white bread, where are you? Come to me, white bread!
How the hell did they find me? I thought I had wandered pretty far.
It was Hunter, who had learned tracking skills during this time in the jungles of South America, and developed a sense of smell that could rival even a bloodhound. And so, whether or not Ryan and Alex knew it, they had already been discovered and were currently being spied on by a pair of silent eyes, hanging upside down from the tree right behind them.
Hunter, found them yet? I'm going to assume that meant yes.
Or that he's kind of hungry, or maybe has to go pee.
Wait, there's someone with him. Is that... Oh no. Rye's being held hostage by PETA.
I'm confused again. So, now the loaf of rye is being held hostage by pita bread? Since when is there so much wild bread on this island?
What? There's no wild... That doesn't even make any... whatever. Anyways, we need a rescue plan. Where is our backup?
Roger, aka the backup, was back about a quarter mile waddling through the rough terrain. Perhaps he might have been able to keep up with Wash and Leonora if it weren't for his peg leg and his eye patch, keeping him from running and seeing very well in the evening light, and the fact that he was weighed down by at least 20 pounds of inexplicably obtained illegal contraband. I would give his backstory, but honestly, his origins are completely unknown. His story changes every day of the week. All that is known about him is that he suffered and fought through at least a couple wars. It is because of his background that Wash dubbed him Roger, after the military terminology, and the two instantly became good friends, and eventually roommates.
I've made it. What's the sit rep?
Well, we found the loaf of rye bread that we're looking for, but it's with some pita bread, which Wash doesn't like for some reason, so now we're hiding in the bushes and stalking them.
Huh. You Americans are so weird sometimes.
Quiet. We can't let the enemy know we're here.
On the other side of the bush,
I wonder how long it's going to take Wash and the others to realize that we know they're hiding behind those bushes.
Judging by the intelligence of the three people behind that bush, we could be standing here all night. I'm just gonna go over there and drag them out myself.
I wouldn't.
Attack!
That I did see coming. Though why is Leo chewing on Alex's arm?
Pita bread!
Hey! Ow! What are you doing? Stop that! Get away!
and so, as the sun sets over the island, Ryan and Hunter stand and watch the four bodies wrestle on the ground in the evening light, and begin to realize that it's kind of beautiful in a strange way. With this encounter, we can now leave our student.
Wait just a minute there. Didn't we forget about someone? Shame on you! Here I've been waiting all this time for everyone to return. I even made dinner out of the beetles Leo found. But you were just going to forget about me, weren't you?
We were out of time, and And so we leave our students
Hey!
confident that they will make it through this project.
Hey!
And that no one will die, or worse, fail. Until the next time,
Hey!
thank you for tuning in. Bye.
All right, lovely listeners, now we got something real cool for you. Our producer, Josh Tone, sat down with the project manager of the Arts and Science Development Plan and our dear, dear friend, Millard Dority.
All right, so we're here with Millard Dority, who's the head of Buildings and Grounds at College of the Atlantic, and we're going to be talking about the new space improvement project for the arts and sciences here. So, Millard, can you, first off, how are you today?
I'm very well. Thanks for having me here today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for coming on. So, can you just give me like a very quick kind of intro to what is this project and what are you hoping to accomplish?
It's a pretty long story, but I'll try to do it in a nutshell here. Since about 1992, we've recognized through a series of campus planning efforts that the conditions of the teaching spaces in both the arts and design and environmental science resource areas are not of the quality and quantity that we need in order to make sure that the teachers are teaching the way they need to teach and the students are learning. And so really it's been this has been a project that's been on the board for a long time. And just last February, Campus Planning and Building Committee presented a proposal to the Buildings and Grounds Committee of the Board of Trustees that we begin the process of finding a solution to these very important needs.
Do you have any estimate as to when it'll be finished?
Well, we understand that there's a timeline, and the pre-design phase of this project is designated to start in August of this year of 2016. Okay. And that doesn't mean that we're not going to do anything between now and then, because the liaison committee will be meeting soon to start beginning to to review the goals and objectives that have been developed by campus planning, and then the programmatic information that's been gathered to date. But the community hasn't spoken with, and this is really where we are now, even though pre-design doesn't necessarily have to start until August. We want to be prepared so when August comes around that we do have as much information as possible before we start talking about how hiring architects or whatever consultants or whatever solutions there may be in order to, or whatever tools we may need in order to recognize these, the improvements that are necessary.
Okay. So when you say pre-design, kind of what are some of the main steps that's going to entail? Like, how is that different from building it or something like that?
Well, there are a whole number of phases that we'll go through in order. If we begin pre-design and we allow 6 months for pre-design, then the schematic design, which is another 6 months, and then another 4 months, and then design development. So there's a whole series of phases of the project that go from design all the way through construction administration, and so you end up with a building. And the goal is to have the building. What the president has said is that we should be able to walk into this building in 2020. What does pre-design entail? It's basically the dreaming phase, right? The community will vet the goals and objectives and agree on a set of goals and objectives, and then we'll begin to say, what is it that this institution needs? Not today to solve the problem with 5 faculty members teaching in the Zoe Lab this term, but in 10 years, in 15 years, in 20 years, in 50 years, what is it we have to envision? What does this institution need to do this job for into the future? And it's the tendency is to say, oh my God, things are really bad in this space. What can we do to make that better? And that's not what we're doing. We really need to take a step back and say, forget about the existing arts and science space, forget about anything, but just stand back and say, what is it that these 2 resource areas need to do their job? How do we want faculty to be able to teach, and how do we want students to be able to learn? And then all the rest of that will shake out, because clearly whatever the solution is will only be as good as we are as clients to be able to inform someone else about what it is that this institution represents and what is it that we need to do. What do we need to provide in order to meet the mission of the institution?
Yeah.
And that's our job. And it's very easy. It is so easy in this instance to say, well, the existing science and arts building, well, what could we use this for? What could we use that for? We're not at that phase. We're really at the dreaming phase about what is it that we need. Okay. And we have some of that information. Campus planning spent a great deal of time over the last year compiling that information, compiling some of it in order to make the case that we have a problem. But what we haven't done is heard from Josh. We haven't heard from the all-college meeting. We haven't heard from steering committee. We haven't heard from, and so we have to hear from all of those people, because someone out there is going to come up with a brilliant idea of how this building should work, and we need to hear that from someone.
So if you want to hear my voice, make a massive recording studio. Just a giant
recording
studio. That's all it should be.
Of course, that's right.
Music only.
Of course.
I mean, sounds like it's going to be a really big project. So do you have any idea of what kind of budgeting it's going to take, how expensive it's going to be?
We're nowhere near the point of being able to say that this project is going to cost X. And so, again, that's not the way you start. The way you start is to say, what is it that we need? And then we see how that all shakes out.
And I guess my final question is, sounds like it's still too early to ask, but where do you think you might put the new building?
Again, you're absolutely right. Until you know, everything affects siting. It's the mass of the building, the volume of the building, square area of the building. And so it would be premature. Although I believe you can locate possible sites, siting is a long way down the road. Once we get an idea of how big this thing is going to be, if it's going to be a building at all. I mean, again, who knows whether it's going to be a building or, again, we're not calling this the new Science and Arts building. We're calling it a space improvement project.
Yeah.
And the results of that will tell us, the results of the programming, the pre-design will tell us whether it's going to be a new building or whether it's going to be able to be existing space that provides that.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming on. This is I think the campus is going to really enjoy hearing some more about this project and learning a little bit more.
Thanks for having me.
Even if it's still a little bit vague.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Free Range Nonsense was written by Max Paris. Voices by Amber Wolf, Austin Ogofa, Davis Yao, Jonathan Harmore, Rose Edwards, Joshua Tone, and Laura Montanari.
Edited and produced by Joshua Tone and Rose Edwards. Published by Maximum Tone Records.
Thanks for listening, folks. It's always a pleasure.
If you'd like to send us any submissions or contact us for any reason, email us at windwardnews@gmail.com.
Thank you and have a wonderful week.
We love you.
Love you too.